I want people to remember their childhood dreams because what I'm about to tell you, it's very much related to me sticking to my childhood dreams. And if you do that as a child and you don't let go of those big dreams, I think you will see fascinating things happen in your life and you will never regret it when you die.
We are here, Health in the Real World podcast. Raj, what's going on?
Yeah, really excited to be with you, Chris, because I think we have a shared passion about health and fitness, and I think it's always a modern, everyday conversation. People are trying to get fit and healthy and stay fit and healthy, and the consistency thing about staying fit and healthy. That's why we need coaches, personal trainers all the time to keep people motivated to stay with it.
Agreed, agreed. How did you get started with being healthy? Just your interest, your overall interest in being healthy.
It's a bit of a strange and yet colorful story. I'll
We like strange and colorful around here.
Yeah, basically, it's the overarching theme of it is really I want people to remember their childhood dreams because what I'm about to tell you, it's very much related to me sticking to my childhood dreams.
That's cool,
And
man.
yeah, and if you do that as a child and you don't let go of those big dreams, I think you will see fascinating things happen in your life and you'll never regret it when you die. You won't say, "Oh, I regretted living the dream. I regretted going for it. I regretted not believing that I could do more and better and bigger things than what society had in store." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it all started when I was 3 years old. My mother takes me to kindergarten or nursery, as we say here in the UK, for the first time. And we get enrolled. We have a look at the playground, the classrooms and stuff, and we end up in the library. And for some strange, call it magnetic, I don't know what it was, but there was two books I pulled off the bookshelf as a 3 year old. One book was about dinosaurs, and one book was about planets. So the Thomas the Tank Engine, the Mr. Happy, Mr. Sad books, I didn't touch that. But for whatever reason, Chris, these images on these books just imprinted themselves so deeply on my mind that I can remember it as if it's yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah. And these themes have guided me more profoundly and more effectively and impactfully than my entire school education.
Wow.
Yeah.
So was that interest something that was with you all through childhood, or did you suppress it for a while and then it came bubbling back later on?
No matter what I tried to do to try to fit it in the framework of the school system and society we're in, it kept coming back again and again. And then I realized that, hang on a minute, why is what the information that I'm having in my mind so different to the information that's around me in school and society and family life? Why is it so strange to be different, but in a nice way?
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah, so I had to reconcile those differences. It took a long time, if I'm honest.
Very
So
cool.
just to dial in how it relates to health and fitness, for
Yeah.
example, dinosaurs. I was wondering as a kid, how are dinosaurs able to evolve from a crocodile style of dinosaur to then a diplodocus, a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and then later as animals evolved to dogs, elephants, dolphins, which can communicate better, express more emotion, more community ability to cooperate, right? As you go higher up the chain. And I was always wondering, like, how does that happen? Like, where is that process that explains how you move from a less intelligent life form into a more intelligent, expressive life form? Then the question arose vitally, how do humans do that? And can they
Mm.
evolve their own brains with their own effort? And of
Almost like I don't want to say forced, but it's like a deliberate evolution.
yeah, conscious evolution. Yeah.
Yeah, conscious evolution. So you're looking at stuff like dinosaurs and crocodiles and everything and seeing like that macro evolution of over thousands or even millions, I don't even know the time frame of
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
and you're asking yourself, even at a young age, how can I, and presumably how can I affect other people and get them that faster
Evolution
evolution?
training.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
over your right shoulder, watch your monkey mind sleep like a baby. That monkey
Yeah.
mind concept, right? We all have it, right? And we're thinking of a million different things, especially with our high-tech lives. how does that play into it? How is that? I'm imagining some sort of meditation, some sort of like deliberate
Yeah,
consciousness change, something like that.
absolutely, absolutely. I'll dial in quickly what the planets thing meant because I hope that helps add further value.
Yeah.
I was wondering about planets as well as a 3-year-old. So dinosaurs are evolution and planets in terms of influence,
Mm,
impact, characteristics. So if you look in the solar system, we have these beautiful planets, Saturn with its amazing rings, Jupiter, the king of planets, spinning at 47,000 kilometers per hour. Right?
that's
Yeah,
fast, man.
it's a biggest planet. What is it doing spinning at that speed? Right? Then you begin to realize, okay, you've got Venus, you've got Mercury, you've got Mars. You realize that there's an interplay of forces with each other as
For
well as
sure.
human and all life forms. And then you start to wonder, okay, what's my role? How do I fit in all of this? How are the planets influencing me? How is evolution affecting me? What can I do to have a conscious role in all of this?
Mm,
When it comes to talk about your point about the monkey mind, it's it's one of those things where you can go through your entire school system 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and you're never given 1 hour of instruction about what the mind is,
yeah,
ever, which to me is mad
that's
because
fascinating.
it is. Because when we go into the real world and we realize all these books, information that we've had to cram exams for, does us no good in the real world.
Well, and we've all heard too that people say that the number one skill that you should cultivate is your ability to learn because you're going to have to learn things at such a fast cadence the rest of your life, really. And there was that whole the internet or the amount of information on planet Earth is doubling. I remember 10 years ago they said, "Oh, it's doubling every 2 years." And then they said
Right?
it's doubling every whatever, I don't know, year and a half, and now it's doubling,
Yeah.
I don't know, probably every 5 hours or something.
Yeah.
And it's just incredible. And as you were talking, I was like going places in my mind too. If you think about like just the simple telephone has not been around for more than what, like 150 years,
Mm.
170 years.
Something.
The
Yeah.
fact that you and I are speaking right now and I can see you and your expression is it would to 99% of the humans that existed throughout history, it would be just the most, they'd be like up here on the computer, touching your face on the screen. Who is this
Yeah.
flat person here who's this big? And how is this happening? And it'd
Yeah.
be like magic, right? And
That's right.
just even thinking of that one thing to expand what our imagination goes to. But so going back to that expansive imagination, you have the planets just in this solar system. Was your
Yeah.
little 3-year-old brain, what you're thinking like, oh my God, how many millions of planets are out there?
Yeah.
And
All of that. All of
yeah,
that. Because I was wondering, like in Vedanta, the yoga system that we study from India, we'll get into that a bit more because
yeah,
there's a big, incredible story behind the yoga mysticism of India. And the incredible thing about yoga is you study what we call life forces. We call it chi in Chinese or prana in Sanskrit. Now, the life forces are so incredible that they allow you to do almost anything you can conceive of in your mind. The pranas can allow you to somehow manifest or achieve. These forces are super fine. They say in the script, in the tantric texts, that each prana or each life force is as thin as a hair divided 1,000 times.
that's pretty
So if
thin.
you get, yeah, it's super thin, super fine. Yet we control these forces with our mind all day long.
And so what does each of those thin strands represent? Is this like string theory where there's all these different options, or is this just like an energy, or how would you describe that?
It's all manifestation of mind, cosmic mind, because when it's fascinating to think that when we talk about how a human is made, what image, what template is it made? There is a template there, definitely.
For
But
sure.
then we go into if you want to go into the divine stuff, and you say, okay, we're made in the image of God and we have all these powers built into us, and it's already there. But because we go through a school system that does not allow you to remember and unveil that potential, you never know about it. You have
Yeah.
no idea. And you just die in the grave, and then you have no idea what you could have done.
Yeah. Yeah, this is incredible. So bringing it down to like a distilled practical level, what would you say, let's just say one of those things, one of those examples where Or let's say you're head of schools in the UK. You're going to
Mhm.
teach, you get one new skill, right? Instead of reading, writing, arithmetic, sit at your desk, be quiet, all that stuff that we're taught as kids. What's one skill or one path that you would teach people on or educate? What's
That is a brilliant question. That is a fantastic question. And I'll tell you, or I'll share with you the insight about this. This is going to blow your mind a little bit. The word school, do you know where it comes from?
Man, I should have researched this. I don't know. Chat GPT. No, I don't know.
So we do the pop Sanskrit quiz because no one knows these
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. School comes from the Sanskrit word gurukul. Gurukul. And all they did was take the guru out and give it an S to call it a school.
Wait, the English word school is from Sanskrit?
Yeah, which means guru school. Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. And all they did in the West, because they have a materialistic bent, they took the guru out of the equation. So,
Oh
yeah, you
man.
have no guide from the beginning of life of what is your body, what is life force,
Yeah.
what is kundalini, what is chakra. You have no idea
Yeah, yeah.
about it. So they truncated guru from school and they just
That's
call it,
crazy.
yeah,
I had no idea. I know a lot of English words are Latin and Greek, and I didn't know. And English is like we steal from everybody. English
yeah.
is, we'll take a little bit of that, a little bit of that. I had no idea. Sanskrit, that's pretty awesome. Okay, so cutting off the guru part of it definitely had implications. What's a, okay, how do we get that back? I think that's my big question. How do we return to some of these things that we're capable of doing?
Okay. In the old 5, 10,000 years ago, the Gurukul situation was they had a guru who was very wise. They had students sitting around the guru on the forest floor. And the reason they would be outside under trees was because they would have fresh air, they would have inspiration of birds singing, they would have sunshine, and the peace in order to absorb the guru's teachings, ask questions, listen, absorb, ask questions, get answers. And the electromagnetic energy of the guru would be what we call psychic osmosis in the West.
Mm,
You absorb people's vibrations by being around them. So if you're around an addict of a drug addict or an alcoholic, your mindset will start to morph and change if you're around them long enough. And you'll start to get ideas and images according to their vibrations.
yeah.
You start to soak it up within yourself.
This has been proven too with the amount of money that you have, with the amount of extra body weight you're carrying. There was a study I read about recently that said that first it was things that we all understand, right? If your best friend is overweight, you're more likely to be overweight. Not necessarily that you will, but you're more likely. But it did 2 or 3 times removed. If your friend's friend is morbidly obese, you have more likelihood to be obese yourself. I don't know how they did these numbers, but we like proof, right, in the West sometimes. So if you guys are listening, there's your proof. I saw it with my own eyes. Okay, so we have this, what did you call it? Osmosis? Spiritual osmosis?
So psychic osmosis.
Psychic osmosis. Similar to, oh man, what is it called? An apprentice or like a journeyman, right?
Yeah,
They just hang out with the master for a few years and then you become the master eventually, right?
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So
Okay. So this back and forth question and answer.
way of learning, way of education. Yeah.
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 What does that look like for us as adults who weren't educated like that? We were taught there's a right answer and a wrong answer. And how do we incorporate a little bit more of this free thinking
That's a,
into our lives?
that's a great question. And if you want to open that can of worms, Chris, it's a massive one. Because here's the thing. I'll tell you a little insight and then I help people engage with their higher mind. The mind is so powerful. We know a lot more already than you think.
Yeah.
You don't have to struggle. You just need to sit and be receptive and let it come to you. You know what I mean? But because we're not taught methods of how to sit and receive, we just pump our head externally with book knowledge, which
Mm,
doesn't do us any good. So we think we know things, but we've forgotten everything by the time we leave school
so
and by the
crazy,
time
right?
we get into work. And we haven't really absorbed much of what we were cramming our heads with, right?
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
sort of undigested knowledge. So the thing is here, I remember when I was in school, I was about 9 years old. I'm walking from one class to another. Like I think it was geography and history or something like that. And the, it was a very sunny day, and there was a light shine through the windows while I was on the way to a classroom. And I heard a voice tell me, and this has happened to me a few times. A voice said to me, "You're going to a separate classroom." I'm going,
Who said that?
okay, yeah. The knowledge you're going to get in that classroom is already in the space between the classes, right? What? What are you?
Wow.
What do you? What does that mean? And what I learned later was that it was absolutely true. All the knowledge of the universe is already in the space around us. But if
Cool.
you can't, yeah, but if you can't tap into that, you have again no idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think someone else knows more than you. You always think the teacher knows better. That's not true.
Yeah. We can be the teachers too. I've been doing this for a few years now, and it's a very simple concept. I just call it first thought. And I'd say probably 5 out of 7 days a week, when I wake up in the morning, I have it's one thought. My subconscious was focusing on this, was chewing on this, and the first thought I have in the morning is something about maybe something that I've been thinking about for a few weeks, or maybe an issue, maybe a conflict that I wasn't quite sure how to resolve. And when I wake up and this first thought is the most clear, it is, and I've learned to trust that first thought. Not that I'm going to take action on it right now, but that this might be the answer. This might be the direction that I want to go. So let's chew on this for a little while. And very often it turns out to be an incredible direction, and it feels so peaceful, and it's a really cool practice. So I've heard people, they'll keep old school pen and paper by their bed, wake up in the middle of the night. That's your subconscious working. You're tapping into something and just jot something down. It might not make any sense, but to you, maybe you can, piece the puzzle together. So what do you think that is? And how does somebody who has no idea what I'm talking about right now start to get connected? By the way, Raj, real quick, and everyone watching, we will do a part 2 on this. We only have about 5 more minutes. I like to keep the podcast really short and
Sure.
punchy. And then we'll continue this. We'll definitely do a part 2. But yeah, what do you tell somebody who wants to tap into their intuition maybe a little bit more, or using breath as their bridge kind of thing? What would you say to that?
I would definitely say to practice breathing methods, whether it's Wim Hof, whether it's Andrew Huberman, whether it's the one that we've designed, the 3-3 metaverse breathing method. I think without sounding biased, it's the easiest and quickest way to get into a theta brainwave state, which is a very receptive, very gentle, very relaxing state of being. And it's so easy. It's just 3 and 3. It's so easy. It's not complicated at all. And I think the breathing methods help you get deeper into the recesses of your subconscious mind. You go deeper into your superconscious mind even, and then you get all kinds of insights, and then you can write them down. It could be in the middle of the night. It could be just when you wake up. So breathing methods, and just silently, you can have your eyes closed and just receive. Just ask your questions, and just wait for the answers. Just sit and be patient, and just be in a receptive state. I think that helps.
Yeah, I think that's huge. Going back to your 3-year-old self, what did that kid know that you've been able to carry with you all this way? And how would that kid be able to teach somebody right now? Well, let me rephrase that. Go
Mm.
back, you become the 3-year-old kid. You gained some sort of wisdom, or you unlocked the wisdom, or you became aware of wisdom you already had. How would you say that to somebody watching right now, as like let's say like your grand finale, imparting wisdom to the viewer, and then I'll give you a chance to tell people how to get a hold of you after this.
Sure. I would say if whatever you were dreaming about as a kid, right, and I think we all did. I ask so many people, all my clients, I always ask them this question: what were you dreaming of when you was a kid? Oh, I want to be president. Oh, I want to be an astronaut. Oh, I want to be a world-class athlete. Or it's always something where they wanted to do something amazing in the world. Always, pretty much always. I want to save my community. I want to be a firefighter. I want to help people who are sick, be a great nurse, a great doctor, a great physician. So I think those are intimations of what we should, hang around in our mind and study those things, whether it's on YouTube or books and things like that. Just whatever is inspiring to you is always going to be good. I don't think people are inspired to do evil things for
Okay.
the most part. If you are, you've got to kill that.
Right.
But I think anything that's inspiring is going to be positive and constructive, and you should embrace that.
Yeah. Awesome. And then Raj, how do people get in touch with you? Website, social media?
Yeah. So the best place is keepfitkingdom.com. On there, they've got a great page called the 3-3 method, where you can click that, you can find out all about the method, how it helps you with sleep, helps people fall asleep within 30 to 90 seconds. Incredible for mental health, insomnia, depression, stress, anxiety, those things.
That's awesome.
Loads of testimonials on there. You can buy the program and you can ask us questions via WhatsApp or email. So
That's great. That's great. I think part two of the podcast, that's a huge thing. I think we need to get into the how do people fall asleep within 60 to 90 seconds. I've been accused of being I can nap anywhere, but I know so many people who they'll fall asleep in bed, they're super comfortable and they got that monkey mind right there and
right.
they won't stop. And it is definitely an issue for a lot of people. So we can discuss that. But yeah, guys, in the meantime, check out Raj's website, keepfitkingdom.com, right? And then,
Yes.
yeah, any final words, Raj, before we wrap it up?
Oh, I just want to say life is much grander and more amazing than you think. And that's a gift for everyone if you're willing to explore your own mind.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
So true. So true. All right, Raj, thank you so much again. Thanks everyone for watching Health in the Real World. We'll see you next time and we'll have Raj back again for sure. We just scratched the surface. We can go all kinds with this. So thanks again, Raj.
Absolutely. Take care.